Alright, welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio, and we've got this week's official prices. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe for daily reactions, reviews, news, painting, modeling, conversion tutorials. All the good wargaming stuff. Alright, so we did see some big releases for Tzeentch. So we have the Disciples of Tzeentch. So we have our two various codexes here. We have the standard codex, which is, Battletome, which is in English $55 USD or $65 Canadian. And that is right in line with what we would expect price-wise on these. So that is cool, obviously, for the Tzeentch players out there. And then we also have the special edition or limited edition one. Those are $90 USD. Same contents on the inside, just a little bit fancier packaging, if you're interested in that. And then just moving on here. So we have the Vanguard Disciples of Tzeentch. I do need to make a correction from the last video. When I was figuring out the value of this box set, Games Workshop sells these Carrick Acolytes in squads of 20 for $55. And there's only 10 in this box set. So it's actually not quite as good a deal as I thought it was. So just kind of totaling everything back up. So for the Acolytes, it's normally 20 in the box set for 55. Somebody pointed out, which I do appreciate that. So I just priced it at 30 bucks. So it would be technically $27.50. But if we say $30 for the Acolytes, and then we say for the Zangors, 10 of them is $50. And then we have $35 for the Screamers and $35 for the Flamers. And then it is $38.50 for the Magistar. That all comes out to $188. I had previously said $213, so it is like a $25 difference. So $188, and then the retail price on this box set is $130. So if we just do our math there, it comes out to a 31% discount. So if you're going to buy all the contents here at full price versus in this box set, it's a 31% difference. So it is definitely some nice savings. About $25 less though than I had thought previously. So I did say it was closer to like a 40% off value, but it's actually closer to 31. It's still a nice set and everything overall. It's still good. I think if you were starting a Tzeentch army, this is a pretty good starting point for you. It gives you a little bit of everything. It has 5 units in it, which is pretty cool. That's always a nice way to learn a game when you have multiple units to control, get to know, and then you can kind of add on to that. Now, I did look at the Arcane Cataclysms to just see what the prices are going for these days online. And I found quite a few places where you could buy it for like $165 to $170 for that Arcane Cataclysms. And I think that's about as good Tzeentch side as this. So if you had somebody to split with it, if you had somebody that was interested in getting into the game, that also includes like the starting rulebook and a second army. So you guys can face off against each other. I think that's probably the way to go over this start collecting box, just because there's a lot in that box and it comes with the rule book. This, obviously just models and some like data sheets in the instructions. But I think that Arcane Cataclysm box is heavily discounted enough at this point in time that there's a compelling argument for it. You would get 20 of the Acolytes, you would get 10 of the Zangors. Instead of the Magistar, you would get the Curseling. And then, obviously you don't get these demons here. You get the 10 Acolytes instead, and then you get all the High Elves. So, I mean, there's definitely an argument to be made for that Arcane Cataclysms box. Obviously, if you were going to pick this up for $130, though, you could probably get another, $20 or so off that with an online discount or local discount. So this is probably going to run you about $110. So is it worth the difference? I don't know. It's not bad. This isn't a bad box. People were talking about the previous box as well. The last like start collecting box that they just got rid of had 3 Screamers in it, 3 Flamers in it, and then it had like the Chariot and some Horrors. So I don't know. It's 2 completely different things. I mean, the Zangors are like borderline demons, but not like full on like demons, how you picture them. But I think overall, any of those boxes is a decent deal. I don't think overpaying for the old start collecting box is worth it any more than just picking this up. And I don't think overpaying for Arcane Cataclysms is worth it just to get the second army. If you can find a good deal on any of these things, I think it's worth it. Overall, there is some decent savings in here, and this is a pretty good jumping off point. Now, if you're an existing player, though, and you're all set on Acolytes and Tzaangors, probably none of these boxes are going to be good for you, and the old start collecting would have been the best. So, but anyway, that is it. 130 Vanguard for the Disciples of Tzeentch, and 160 in Canadian dollars for our friends up north. All right, and then next we have our dice right here. So we've got the Tzeentch Dice, $38 USD or 48 Canadian. Obviously, just very pricey for what they are. You know, it's funny too because in these pictures you can kind of see like the quality on like the actual like print of like the little pips and everything doesn't even seem that great. You're like, man, I don't know. So next we have our War Scroll cards, Disciples of Tzeentch. So for the War Scroll cards, we are looking at $33.50 for the War Scroll cards, or $38 Canadian. And that does include the tokens as well as the War Scroll cards. So these are a handy tool to have around. I can understand why people would pick these up. Obviously, $33.50 is a little bit pricey, you know, if you're buying the book on top of that. And you can't really buy these like instead of the book. But it is a nice tool to have. I really do like the War Scroll cards, honestly. So that's pretty much it for the pre-orders. Quite a few people had chimed in that they actually like these old Space Marines. I'm just so used to have seen these. Even when some of them came out, they looked a little dated to me. But, I mean, they're also Firstborn, too. So everything Firstborn kind of looks dated now. So I can understand how people would want to pick these up. I think it's more of a nostalgia thing. Like, I have no interest in owning, like, the old school models. I'm not trying to, like, relive my youth through my, like, Space Marine collection or anything like that. But I can understand how some people do. And I know some people collect different things. So I can understand how these being available would be pretty cool. And people had pointed out also that you can find them online, like eBay and other sites, and they're pretty pricey. So if you were after these, this could be a pretty good setup for you. Pick them up pretty cheap. So, but yeah, that's it for the prices here. So, not a ton going on this week from Games Workshop. Always nice to have a little bit of reprisal. I think for the Tzeentch players out there, really Chaos in general, this has probably been a pretty strong release schedule as of late. Yeah, sorry about that little error on the pricing there. Hopefully that didn't throw anybody off. But I think when it's all said and done, this is a nice box. It compares pretty well with the other boxes. Probably has a larger model count than most of the Vanguard boxes. And overall, I think is a good starting point for most players. I do like that you get 5 different units in this box, as it lets you get used to, you know, a lot of the different rules, and it gives you a lot of pieces to control in your battles. So I think overall this is a good starting set right here. I think if you were really getting into the hobby, really getting into Sigmar, and you potentially had another player, I think that Arcane Cataclysms box with the heavy discounts we're seeing online could be a bonus as well. And I think the big differentiator on that is, you know, obviously if you're going to do anything with the High Elves or the Lumineth, but also it comes with that rulebook. So if you don't already have the rulebook, that's great. But the truth is, I mean, the best deal out there still, if you were getting into Sigmar, is the Dominion box. It's absolutely amazing. You can still get it for like $100. Has like the big hardcover rulebook, 2 complete armies and everything to play. So definitely some nice ways to get started in that. So. But that's it for today. I just wanted to hit you guys with the official prices there. Overall, I think a nice setup here. Not too much on the list for me this week, so get a nice little break. But obviously, I did snag up Into the Dark, getting really close to finishing up a nice large commission. So keep your eyes peeled for that one as well. And then I've got a couple tutorial videos coming out in the next week or so also. So that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, if you're into these daily reactions, reviews, and news, painting, modeling, conversion tutorials, make sure to like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, Warcry, Horus Heresy, and of course some Kill Team content as well. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.